talk, dinner talk. Give you the info to walk the walk. Now, sometimes it's a foreign language, now know what's up. Don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation. Empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
Where is the time going? Welcome to Man Translation. What's up, people? It is another Sunday. These weeks are flying by.
Indeed, they are.
I am Sky C, and I'm relaxing today because
Yes.
this is going to be the Dante show. It's going to be the Dante show. But welcome
I'm sure
to
y'all want
the
that.
conversation where we communicate and we bridge the gap between men and women, because it's time out for men versus women. And it's time for us to come to a place of understanding each other and understanding that men and women do not think the same. And why do you want people to think like you? You want people to think like who they are so that it can add more spice to your life. Or do you want a robot? I'm just saying.
I mean, it's very accurate.
I'm Sky C. I am the CEO, producer, serial entrepreneur, and this is Dante V. He is our relationship strategist and communicator, and he's representing and holding down the men. And we're also here as mother and son dynamic duo, letting the world know that mothers and sons can have healthy relationships and communication. And today we're going to be talking about what do men want. Last week we were talking about what do women want. So this week Dante going to be talking about what do men want. For real though, do we really know what men want, or do we really care what y'all want? I don't think nobody cares.
I'm along with that too. Being in relationships, being married, being divorced, men are just expected to perform. Like, we don't care about your feelings. We don't care what you go through. It's like, hey, whatever you need to get done, do it, and figure out your own feelings later. I've been through that entirely too many times. Men we hear, but we just get it done. We don't care how you do it.
I think the thing that I find to be so unfortunate is that men are not allowed to show emotion except for the negative emotion of anger. I think it's very unhealthy. I mean, when you're a kid and you're a crybaby, then it's like suck it up. But as you get older, I think men learn to express themselves, their emotions in a healthy way.
It's that, and also speaking for me being in the military, it was also that as well. It's like you definitely can't have no emotions being a Marine. It's like, just what? You can't cry in uniform. You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing in uniform. Don't even try it. But yes, when it comes down to it, yeah, just rub dirt on it, walk it off. You'll be back. Right.
I think that's unfortunate because we need to see each other's humanity. Like, when you put people in a box, you put men in a box and you tell them they can't cry and they can't show emotion, and you a punk if you show emotion and all these other negative connotations. You're a human. You're a man. You're a human. You're going to have emotions. See, that's why all of this just pent up anger, Well, no,
a lot of pent up anger, a lot of unresolved issues, a lot of for me at a point in time, it was a lot of suppression, because even if I had the gateway to talk to somebody, well, how am I going to express this? It's not like there were actually support systems for men. Even being in the military, there was no support system for men where we can actually sit down and actually put this stuff out there and actually have someone who is, who's older, who's an elder, who's been through it. All right, let me walk you through this. Hey, here's my number. Call me when you have an issue. There's none of that. It really is figure it out. and you don't know how to figure it out. So you do the best you can. For me, again, it was suppression. You suppress, you suppress, you just suppress, and then that one thing comes out, and then you blow up, and it's like, I didn't know you had that in you. Yeah, it's been brewing for a minute.
So would you say that would be one thing that you would think across the board men would want is a woman that they could confide in without her, coming back later on and throwing that up in his face? Is that something
Men,
that's really important for a man?
men, yes, absolutely. Men need that safe zone. We again, when you come home, home is your safe haven. There should be no drama here, no issues, no nothing. Like I'm supposed to leave the world at the door and come home to something to something peaceful. Even if the wife, girlfriend, significant other, they're there. If I'm confiding in you about something, that's between us. That pillow talk is us. I'm literally being vulnerable with you. I'm being open with you.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to an argument, and not saying that women do it or because they both do it equally, but when you start fighting dirty, you use that stuff I told you that I've been through as a child against me, or the things that I just went through. Like I'm although I'm confiding in you, you got like a ill thoughts, like you've been a pussy, or you could have man up and you could have did this, but you don't say anything right then and there. You wait till later on until we're in time of crisis to go ahead on and express that. It's like, so now you hold this in. Oh, I'm definitely not going to talk to you about whatever moving forward.
I think that also comes, to people have an idea of what they think a man is, and they have an idea of what they think, a woman is supposed to be. But again, I think that we are losing our humanity. We don't see the fact that people are human. And as a human being, we all have emotions, and we all
Right.
need to be able to express those emotions without being judged and without being, ridiculed
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we feel in some type of way about things. And it's more intimate when a man can be vulnerable in front of you and trust you with.
Hmm.
So men are looking for that. They want to be vulnerable because what I find is that men are just as sensitive as women are. They just don't show it.
When are we really allowed to? I mean, from a world standpoint, like you cry, walk it off. Unless you like a toddler, you cry, you walk it off. Something happens to you, you have to go ahead on. You have to just get over whatever it is. You don't have a time to dwell in it for a little bit. And this is how life is. Something happens to you, it's like, okay, I'm here in this right now. I'm showing emotions, I'm crying or whatever. I'm not going to stay here, but I got to get this out at this point in time. Now, it's one thing if I'm just living in it because I can't move past it and you just using it as an excuse, that's something completely different. But there is no time for most men, majority of men, to actually express how they feel about something without being torn down to some way, shape, or form. It's
Go
like the only
back to when you said, when you come home, because you're hearing a lot of men say, they want that peace. So what in regards are they saying about that peace? Because you said, when you come home, your home should be your safe haven. That should be
Mhm.
where you get your peace. But that's where people that's where they do the most arguing and throwing down soon as he step foot. And it's interesting because that's one of the reasons why a lot of men go to happy hour before they come home. They go to the happy hour and they vent and drink before
Yeah,
they get
because
home.
well, one, I don't drink. I understand that. I definitely understand that. Happy hour wasn't a thing for me, but I would definitely take the long way home because unless you on the bus and you have some sort of buffer, that ride when you get off work to when you get home from work, you have to literally let your day go within that time frame. It is
Yeah.
not just men. A lot of single mothers have it too because when the moment a mom gets in the house, like mommy, 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 you don't even have a chance to take the shoes off. It's the same thing with men, especially if you have a lady in the house and you have children. It's like, all right, what's up? What's up? What you need? What you need? So you go from coworker, CEO, whoever, And then you got to come in the house and put that dad hat, that boyfriend hat, that other hat on immediately, and there is no time to unwind.
There's no time to decompress. Yeah.
No.
I learned that being single too, coming home from dealing with the world and it's all the stuff that come at you. And then as soon as you walk in the door, your children, they want to share with you all the
Right.
problems, what the teacher said, and all the
Deal with
stuff.
that. You got to deal with you got to go off. You got to deal with like, okay, here we go, and then everything that you're going through, again, it gets kind of put to the side, which is why I completely understand. I'm not trying to bring women into this, but I understand why women have wine time. Like you go in the bathroom, run that bath water. You got that wine glass there. All the kids asleep. Should be sleeping. Should be. And you got that time to yourself. I understand why some parents just go on vacation. Don't tell nobody. We leave.
So, when a man comes home, what should a woman be doing? What should she do? How should she receive him so that he can not take the long way home or not go to happy hour? But what can a woman do to not to make him, but for him to want to come straight home every single day?
Be open. Again, I'm going to speak a lot about this safe zone that we need, and it's not just for just men, for women too. Generally asking how my day was, and I understand. Yes, ladies, men have one word answers, and you might have to dig just a little bit, but it'll mean the world. It shows us that you actually care. There's nothing worse than getting home and it's like you just feel like you're a roommate. You just here, like there's no love. Like you're not welcome in your own house. It's like your job is just to bring home money and fix stuff.
Wow.
I am speaking from personal experience.
That's sad. That sounds like you just being used.
That's sort of how it feels. That's sort of how it feels. Like I cannot, like coming home. I hate to say this because I joke about it often. It's like you'll see us just sitting in the car outside for like a good 10, 15 minutes. I need this extra time to get this off. And I know the moment I go through the store, I got to put another hat on and I'm not ready. And I'm not trying to take out my day on my family or cause some sort of argument. The quickest way for me to turn around and leave this house is you got something you need to say and I haven't had a chance to unwind. That's an argument waiting to happen.
It sounds like the modern woman. Remember they had an issue. It was an issue that came out. Beyonce made that song "Cater to Your Man." Like whenever she made it, the modern woman says, "No, we don't want to cater, to our man." So it sounds like men want women to cater to them.
We want. Yes, to be catered to, although we don't know how to receive it, because that's huge. Dealing with a woman who was like, "Let me take care of you. Come in here and let me do this and have this ready." I'm not saying like go in there make me a sandwich. It's like no, because I'll find something to eat. I can make my own sandwich, but it's like having that intimate time, not sex, but actual conversation, deep meaning conversation, or you getting to know me or getting to know the things that piss me off. So it's like, all right, I know he had a long day. Let me do A, B, C, D. Let me do this. Just to care to someone shows that you care. If the modern woman doesn't want that, then okay, that's fine. But the modern woman also, for the most part, is single. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying. We ain't talking about you. You a whole different. You different. But no, that's the thing. It's like they don't. The modern woman is like, "Hey, I got it. Don't worry about it." And then the moment you require or you act or you have a standard for yourself, it's like, I don't need that. You can go ahead and go on. Like men are almost expendable to some of them. Again, I'm speaking in general.
Wow, that's really interesting because we're living in a time where women have become very independent and they've become very self-reliant. And
Mm-hmm.
so, does that come across to a man as if, the woman don't need, that, she don't need me. What does she need me for? Because
Because you're coming in at a wrong angle. I don't want you to need me. I'm gonna be here. I want you to want me because if you need me, we might have an issue. Now, again, we're talking about on the surface. But if you are becoming dependent on me for whatever, it's like, what you gonna do when I'm not here? So if you have your own car, house, all the material stuff, okay, great. If you can hop on a ladder and clean the gutters and all the other stuff, okay, great. I can do those very same things. Like, that's cool. Now that I'm here, you don't have to do those things. In fact, it'll be my job to see it before it needs to be done and go ahead on and do it. Now, of course, timing and all the other stuff might play a part in it, but most men, well, some men will do that as a threat. It's not a threat to
people
me.
have so many expectations of the other person that they don't really, they kind of miss the relationship. Like it's not, to me, it's like clothes. Your clothes are supposed to accentuate, not overpower. It's supposed to express, your person, a part of your personality. And so in relationships, I think that the man and the woman should accentuate each other. And I don't think that that's what's happening. I think that, they want to change each other. I see a lot of people in relationships that she wants to change him to the ideal person that
And
she thinks a man should be. And when he doesn't live up to that expectation and he falls short, then arguments ensue.
Listen, I've literally had this debate on more than one occasion. And people look at me strange, but I'm like, I don't really have any expectations of whoever I'm with. I want you to be who you are. I'll either adjust accordingly or I'll leave. But the basic stuff like how you talk to someone, having some respect. Okay, that's a little different. But if you have this expectation of me, I'm like you actually don't, because you're setting expectation on me that I don't even have with myself. So now you're getting used to a certain thing. So now that I don't do it, let's just say every time you get out of the car, I run around and get your door. Every time without fail. Then one time I was on my mind, I forgot. Now you mad because I didn't do it. You can't get your
I think that's just common courtesy. I think that's just common courtesy. That shouldn't really be like an expectation.
Listen. I've been out there. I've been on dates, and they was like, "Don't get me used to something," and then you stop doing it. Don't get used to it. No, it's simple. Don't get used to it. Like, yes, it is a common courtesy. Yes, there's a proper way of going about doing things. But again, don't get used to it.
But see, that's the issue that I have. People don't know how to allow you to be an individual. They do not know how to allow you to be yourself. They want you not even just in a romantic relationship. You also have that with your parents. Your children expect for you to be a certain way. When you are a parent, you're not allowed to be human. You're not allowed to make mistakes.
Man.
Same thing in romantic relationships. People don't give room for growth. They don't give room, just to enjoy me as a person, as an individual. As an individual, you want to dictate where I go, who I hang around, who I be with. I just see a bunch of people in relationships that's trying to control the other person. So you never get to what does a man want? What does a woman want? You not even get to that part.
People like, listen, if it's in a person's heart to do it, they're gonna do it. Yeah. I can go out here and I can say, hey, please don't cheat on me. Please don't. But if it's in their heart to do it, they're gonna do it. Don't give a damn what you say. Oh, I don't want you wearing this, and I don't want you talking such and such and this and that. It's better off, and again, I might sound like a simp, but it's better off to get understanding on why this person is around rather than me coming here trying to dictate your life, because I don't have to be here. In fact, in the event that I do leave, this person may still be here. So
So why is it that men want a woman that's virtuous and with a low body count, but it's okay for a man to have Wilt Chamberlain numbers?
listen, real men don't care. Real men don't care about body counts. I think, again, you ask that question, you better be prepared for the answer. And most men aren't. I don't really see the purpose of asking that question. I've never really cared to ask that question, but most men want a good girl. And if you've been quote unquote slutted out by the masses, it's like, yeah, no, that's a thing.
So
Everyone has
a good girl. What's the definition of that?
Well, again, like you just said, virtuous woman, low body count, has morals, has standards. Like you've always had this about you, and then here I come, high body count. I've been through some things that had a couple whole phases. Like, yeah, no, it ain't nowhere near equal as it should be. But I want this for you. Not to mention, you got low body count, and I'm out here doing all types of tricks and stunts and stuff. You're gonna be amazed. The other chick ain't, because listen, I haven't seen this. I haven't done it before. In fact, let me perfect your skill.
So why is it that men say they want a woman that's independent and self-reliant and strong, but then when they get it, don't know how to handle it? Talk about it.
Okay, so you told me this. Couple ladies and older ladies in the church told me this. When you pray for something, don't you have to have the strength to handle what you prayed for? That's like you operate. You go to the buffet, but you wasn't really ready for that buffet. You was ready for something, small. Your eyes deceive you. It sounds good in your prayer, but you also, where'd you go? Oh, there you go. You also have to be prepared on the things that you ask for. And it sounds good. You want that house. You want that 5-bedroom house sit on top of the lake, 17 bathroom, 3-car garage, roof deck, all the other stuff.
What how you gonna have a 5-bedroom house and 17 bathrooms?
Just go with it. You want all that, but you working at McDonald's. You get that house. You get it. How you gonna maintain it? There's other things that need to go into your prayer, go into the things that you ask for before you can actually sit back and ask for it. Because once you get it, how you gonna handle it? So instead of her being a blessing to you, now she's gonna be a lesson to you because you wasn't ready for it.
One of the topics that keeps coming up is that women are not authentic, that they want a real man, but they have false eyelashes, false hair, false nails, makeup on, but they want a real man, but they don't have the authenticity. So what? Women, well, wait a minute. But women are saying, but when we are natural, the natural girls are saying, y'all gonna pay us no attention. So what is it that men want? Do they want the natural woman, or they want the made up woman? Because if you don't have it, you got to make it up.
Because eventually, I'm going to see you, wake up to you in the morning anyway. So, of course, the good answer is natural. Because I'm going to see you with all that stuff on anyway. My whole personal take on makeup is as long as it's not exaggerated. I understand. Yes, you want to put lashes on, but if you got like the ostrich feathers, why? And what happened? She's gone. Yeah, if you got the ostrich feathers on, yeah, it's an issue. It's a problem. If you have, I don't even know, the crazy eyebrows and stuff like that, it's like, be yourself, yet be natural. Can you hear me?
Did I disappear?
You definitely disappeared.
I was trying to see if we had any comments because I'm on my phone.
It was one over there. I guess I need to. I don't I don't really see what
I'm
said.
sitting in the living room and I'm on my phone and I was trying to see the comment. I'm not on my laptop because it's been a really long day, so I'm trying to.
Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see it either.
We have Miss Sanders is trying to. Sorry, Miss Sanders. She's trying
No,
to.
let me go ahead.
She's on Facebook, I believe. She's trying to get a comment through, but I just feel like, men. I think that men need to really make up their mind what they do really want. When they say they want a strong woman, an independent woman. They want a woman, that not any man can have, and they have all these expectations. But those things really go both ways, because then when she is independent and when she does do those things, it's an issue. Like, it's a problem.
It should be. It really should not be an issue at all. Because at the end of the day, she's still an individual.
And
I'm still an
we
individual.
want our peace, and it's almost like they want the wife image. They want a woman that has all the virtues and the standards and the morals, and take care of the home and take care of the children, and she has her own stuff going on. But then that's not enough. That's not enough.
Because again, if we're supposed to be a team, all this stuff's supposed to be split anyway. You got strong suits, weak suits, weaknesses, all that. All this stuff's supposed to come into effect. Which is why it's like, okay, taking care of the house. I got stuff I need to do too. Taking care of the kids. I got stuff I need to do too. Everything's it's not supposed to be put solely on her because she's a woman, and I'm a man, and this is how we do things in this household now.
Because that's the traditional woman. The traditional woman, she stayed home and took care of the children. She didn't work outside the home. She raised the children. But we're talking about modern women. Women have evolved. Hey, T. She said, I feel like a lot of men fantasize about the type of woman they think they want, but when they get her, they have no idea what to do with her. That's
literally just talked about that. Because again, the thing you think you want, you have to prepare yourself for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they say they want, but they don't know what to do with that strength and all of that.
No,
get it.
Because it's different. It's like you see the woman out there, and it's like, well, what's she gonna do without me? She should be living her life as she has when she was with you. She shouldn't have been solely dependent upon you for certain things. Anyway,
it's such a disconnect. That's really why we do this show, because I'm really tired of the men versus women.
Like, it shouldn't be versus at all.
But it is. It's like a battle of the sexes, that's going on. Even with like a lot of these podcasts and stuff, everybody's voicing their expectations, but they're not bridging the gap in communication. I could give you a laundry list of things that I want, but if my definition of words and your definition of words, your perspective and my perspective
has to line up.
It has to line up.
Which is why I'm like, you sit down with this person, and it seems like in the beginning that's what's supposed to happen. So if you're still here, your communication will get that much better. Get those definitions. Get your definition of this. So how do you see this? And then you build from there. Or you have, okay, here's your definition, this is mine, and we got to come together and figure something out, because there might be two different things, two different spectrums.
But it's like T said, it's fantasies. She said, I'm late to the party, so I missed out on the first half of the show. We just, getting a man's perspective as to what, men really want. They say they want a strong woman and woman with morals and all of that, but they don't know what to do with it. Like when they.
But what's your definition of strong? Like, you want a strong woman to do what? Because if she's strong, she's not gonna need you for a lot of stuff. That's one of those things that you have to, men don't think about when they say it. It's almost like saying, I want a beautiful, gorgeous, attractive woman. With that alone comes a whole pack of men who want her. Can you deal with that?
I was going to get to that part. Yeah.
So her being strong comes with a whole set of problems. Are you ready to deal with that? her being pretty, her being cute, her having a social media. Because people gonna be in that inbox. Can you handle that? Can you handle the amount of men pics that are being sent to her that you might not even know about? But it's handled because she's been handling herself all the time.
But men and women have different strengths. Women have more of an emotional strength, and men have more of a physical strength. So I think that when women, I mean, I can't speak for all women, but I think that when women say they want strength, they're talking about physical strength. They want to feel safe when they are
I've
with
heard
their
that.
man. They
I've heard
want
that a
to
lot.
feel safe. They want to know that if something jump off,
You
he's
got
going
me.
to be there, exactly,
Mhm.
to protect. And then women have emotional strength, whereas though she can be there to support him, emotionally, to help him to sort out, his feelings, how he feel about certain things, because those things have to be dealt with in a relationship.
Mhm.
And like we said,
Absolutely.
it creates more intimacy when you can communicate, but it has to be in an alignment, and it can't, like she said, it can't be fantasy. And I think a lot of
No.
people are living in a fantasy of what they think a man should be and what they think a woman should be, and there's a disconnect.
Because they want this build a man, build a woman type of person, and it doesn't. It's like you're gonna miss something. You don't have enough money to get the voice. So yeah, he looks good and he's strong, but he don't speak up for himself. He just let people walk over, just let people run over him. So it's like getting to know someone does take time, yes, but you just want to just build this person. It's like, all right, they're perfect, and this doesn't work that way. Does not.
Okay, so the men, you were talking about the woman being, what's the difference between her being sexy and seductive? Because men want arm candy. I see a lot of men, they have arm candy, and the woman, she has to look a certain way. So, what's crossing the line between sexy and seductive and provocative in the way that
I
she
mean,
dresses?
what it comes down to is the level of attention that's being put out there.
Yeah.
That's all that is. I mean, yes, you look good on my arm because that person, that gentleman is more secure about their image more than anything.
Yeah.
Because if I walk out here with just anything and I look good and she look like, that's gonna fall back on me. Oh, did you see such and such's wife? Because she ain't got no name no more. It's just this person's wife or this person's girlfriend or this person's uh, whatever. And then when she goes on to whatever, it's almost like well, she ain't even got no name. Superhead, Corinne Steffens or whatever her name is. It was just Superhead for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, it's like the moment she decided to not do those things, not be provocative, it's like, oh, she has a name. She changed it like 3 times, but that's a different story. But it all comes down to the level of attention that's being required.
I mean, but what do men want? Do they want sexy, or do they want seductive, or do they want
I
do they want her
the,
modest? Do they want her, covered up, or like what
I
is
mean,
it?
again,
She
I'm gonna
walking
speak for
around
myself.
with her Daisy Dukes on, or like what do men want?
I mean, because here's what's gonna happen. I can speak for myself on this. I'm gonna go across the board. For me, again, there's nothing like the mystery. You know it's there, but you can't see all of it. There's a mystery there. Okay, let me get to know. Let me get so I can eventually see. If you out there with Daisy Dukes on, I mean, how men are structured, how we are because we're visual. We only want one thing. So you might be here for a night, a couple nights if allowed. If you dress in sex, especially depending on the occasion or the atmosphere or wherever you're at, like yeah, we're not looking like we're arm candy. No, you just here for the night. Because again, I met you outside with Daisy Dukes on, dress all provocative, breast out, stuff like that. Uh, Men aren't really going to take you seriously.
I mean, it's to the point that I said I'm going to bust out my sewing machine. You can't even find clothes you can't even find anything unless it's a mini skirt or bodycon, or you can't even really find modest clothes. You have to really you know, it's really a stretch. You have to really make your own clothes these days. But I think that men have such a double standard a lot of times about what it is that they really want. They say they want one thing at home, but then when they go out in the street, they looking at and hanging out and catcalling something completely and totally different. So I think that there needs to be really a distinction so that women can know, so that women can really know, like what is the man really looking for. And then it's like a lot of times men will be like, yeah, I took her out and she just wanted to go to a 5-star restaurant and she wanted to, me to spend all my money on her, but I just met her.
Oh no, let me talk about that because again, just how us as men, we have a standard, they have a standard too. But I think what happens is you don't seem like the type, so there's that. But if I'm taking you out on a date and this is what's being discussed, you can either take it or leave it. If that's her requirement that she be out at a 5-star restaurant because that's what she's used to, and you don't mess her up, then that's fine. Thank you for your time. Maybe we can be friends or maybe not. And you just go from there. Like, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. And it's okay that you don't have it. I'm not going to no 5-star restaurant. They ain't got chicken tenders. I need chicken tenders and fries. They ain't got that egg.
You can have chicken tenders and fries at home, Dante.
Exactly. That's why I'm here right now.
But she wants to go out sometime.
And that's cool.
Out.
And that's cool.
Yvonne, he tripping.
I mean, that's what it is. Like, I'm not going to sit back and complain because you want to go to a 5-star restaurant and I don't. Okay, that's your standard.
T said, I don't. Wait a minute. T said, I don't think men are fully capable of accepting a woman who is liberated in her sexuality. A lot of men are jealous and they don't want other men to look at their woman, so they want us to be nuns. See, that's what I'm saying.
The only thing.
Do you want her sexy? Do you want her seductive, or do you want her modest and covered up?
I would change it on her statement because she's absolutely right. I would change the word jealous to insecure.
Insecure. Ding ding ding
That's
ding.
The only thing I would change.
Ding ding.
Because again, if I met you and you had on Daisy Dukes and boobs was out and all that other stuff, you get with me, I'm supposed to change that? This is how I met you. Again, you either take that or you leave it. But this is who this person is. Now it's the whole thing, oh, you dressing disrespectfully. She was dressing disrespectfully when you met her.
When you met her. Yeah.
So what is the problem? And then you chose to enter into this to do what? Because now when y'all walk down the street, men looking, people catcall, there's no actual respect that there's a man standing right there. So now it's something that you have to deal with. You knew this beforehand. You chose to enter into it. Please be quiet about it.
So what do men want in regards?
Men want modest. Men want something that they know is theirs. But if it's being advertised to the masses, they know that it's not theirs, and that's where they have an issue at.
That's what it is. Being advertised to the masses. Men, okay, the modern woman, she don't cook. She doesn't cook.
Okay.
Men want women who are domesticated.
I can cook.
T said, my mama wants to know if Dante is single because she wants to know about what he's saying. Mama. Okay, mama.
No, listen.
All right, mama. So and I don't really get this part because, like, I know for me, when I was married, I had to cook. I don't see how women be in relationships and don't cook. I mean, women in relationships that do not cook.
I think that's a dual role. I don't know. I mean, granted, you raised us, all of us, to be able to cook and fend for ourselves, but there's nothing wrong with me coming home after work and prepping something or cooking something or whatever the case may be. It can be a dual effort because, again, building intimacy could be cooking together. Let me learn your style, you learn mine. We sit back, we compare, and we'll find something that works.
Right.
But she got the same thing that I had, if not worse. Hey, let me go ahead and go cook. You go in there and get it some wine or take a shower. So just relax. And vice versa. Hey, I know you had a long day. We hit like you have the same day. And by same day, I mean you get up, you go to work, you got the same 8 hours, you come home, fighting traffic, all the other stuff. So I don't know. As far as the cooking thing goes, I cook. Um, I don't really see an issue with that, honestly. But that's me. Um, apparently I'm different. But to cover a few things, I don't know where she like slipped off to. Um, you just left. But so the main thing. So first of all, hey Auntie, how you doing? Um, where'd she go? Where'd she go? She said, "Child, they don't want Uber Eats every." No, we don't want Uber Eats every night. There's nothing compares to a home cooked meal, whether you do it or I do it.
Uber Eats every night. These women don't cook, clean house. They too busy going to brunch and Taco Tuesday. It is the truth. That's what I'm saying. And
You know,
men are not saying that, yo, they just talking about it amongst themselves. Like, yo, dude, she don't even cook.
and let me talk about this for a moment because that Taco Tuesday definitely brought up a point
Right.
that Miss
Wait, Dr. Let
that
me
Miss
respond to T. Right, that's the domesticated part. Because remember in the beginning, okay, oh no, you wasn't here, T. Dante was saying that men want to come home to, like a peaceful home. They want to come home to a peaceful home, a peaceful, environment. They want to come home to a safe haven. So how can they come home to a safe haven if the woman is not domesticated? Like she has to be, she has to be domesticated. And I mean, she doesn't have to be Martha Stewart or anybody, but she has to be able to create. And I learned that being single, it is so important for you to create an environment to receive your man when he comes home. Because I know when I was single and come home, like, yo, can I get my other foot in the dough before y'all be asking me
I
three
don't know how
questions?
I've heard that. Like, give me a minute. I just walked in this.
Exactly. So I think that it's a lot of men want a domesticated woman, but these women, the woman I talk to, cook what? They ain't cooking nothing. Like Yvonne said, they making taco brunch and taco too.
And don't give a damn about
Yvonne said, I had a guy tell me that a woman invited him over. He said the house was nasty, but she was fly. Wow.
No.
That happens a lot. And the kids be bummy. Yeah, I've seen that.
Let me comment on this while Miss T is here, because she said something last week as far as if she named 5 things, would a guy get all 5 things? And to answer that would be yes, we would. Because we want you to have certain things. Again, I'll talk about my ex when she was pregnant. She literally wanted sweet tea from McDonald's, mashed potatoes from KFC, and something from it was almost like a Waffle House. It was a waffle shop. And she got all 3 of those, not because she was pregnant, because it's like you actually said what you wanted. So here you go. But that was to answer her question last week because we cut off before that.
But it's also a fine line between, me being domesticated and me being the maid. Like I'm not the maid to be,
No.
behind you and having to wash your clothes and all of that. See, that's what I mean when I say each of us are individuals. And even if you were by yourself, you would have to clean your house, you would have to wash your own clothes, you would have to do all of that stuff. So it's like this, as soon as you get in the relationship with somebody, all of a sudden now I gotta wash my clothes and your clothes. And so, there's a fine line between, it has to be a balance.
Yes, it's always. Yes, it does. Because she's not gonna get the brunt of it all, but it's like, okay, you take some, I take some. Here's what you do, here's what I do. And again, this has nothing to do with gender roles. This is a team effort. Because you need your stuff clean, I need my stuff clean. So how are we gonna do it?
That like when you be single for a long time, I can only speak for myself. But when you're single for a long time, you're really you become really like non-traditional. You learn how to change tires, and you learn how to put ceiling fans in, and you learn how to, if it gets a hole in the wall, you know how to, get the spackle and all that and fix the hole. So it's like when you're single as a woman, you really
start becoming self-sufficient.
Do a lot of so-called non-traditional, things. T said, I feel like men want women to be domesticated, but don't add any value or appreciate to what she does. They also only want to be providers, which is cool, but we are not our great-great-grandparents. See, so we're having a tug of war between a modern woman and a traditional woman. I think that it should be a hybrid. I think it should be a hybrid of both.
It should be. Yeah. It definitely should be. I'm not coming in trying to see where I fit in. I'm coming in, okay, here's what needs to be done. Grab your mother, but for sake of whatever, you single, when the man decides to come into your life to do whatever, he sees holes in those walls, yes, you are fully capable. But as am I. Why are these holes in here? What's going on? Is this ventilation? Are you trying to stuff something in here? They need to be done? And then I'll just go ahead and just do whatever. All right, here's what needs to happen. Again, I'm not trying to take over your life or whatever. I see something that needs to be done. Do you go ahead on and do it? So what she said as far as men want women to be domesticated, right? Again, those are men who have the insecurities about them, where it's like, I want her to need me for something. I want her to want me for something, because most men want to be wanted. They want to be needed. Oh, I need you to do this. Take the trash out. Or do the dishes. Or I fix this. Or something's wrong with this pipe. Or something's wrong with that pipe. Well, if you in there, builder just knocking stuff out, he doesn't have a place.
But my thing is that if you wasn't here, I would do it anyway. Like, I'm not going to sit and wait for you to take the trash out when I'm used to taking the trash out anyway. I'm not just going to leave the trash there just so you can still need it.
I mean, again, but that's the thought process of some men. If that's what it is, okay, fine. But here's what's going to happen. You might take the trash out, but I'm going to be there beforehand to make sure you don't have to, because I don't want you to. You're fully capable, absolutely, but you're not going to if I'm there, if I'm around. Whether I'm in the picture or clear when I'm in the picture.
T said a lot of men are also not understanding that women are capable of doing the same things they do, and it doesn't mean that we are twins to emasculate them. It's not.
I think she meant trying to emasculate them. Like, no, that's not
emasculating you because I know how to change a ceiling fan and you don't.
Because again, it comes down to them having a place or not. It's a system of test. If you can change the ceiling fan, take the trash out, fix this, fix that. Why am I here?
Well, because you're here. Because, like she said, there are other ways as a man. There are different ways to add value to each other's lives besides roles that we play.
I'm wholeheartedly with you, which is why I said I don't really believe in the whole gender role thing. If we're a team, we're a team.
Right.
I might not. I'm saying that I don't. I might not be able to cook. That might be your strong suit. Okay, fine. I can do something else.
It's like, okay, at your job, if every time something needed to be done, your supervisor has to come and tell you to do it, after a while, they're going to replace you and get rid of you. Because
you want someone
called initiative.
If
you see something that needs to be done,
and you do
it without being asked, because you know it's supposed to be done. If I had to keep telling you, to do your job, you didn't read the job description when you got hired.
We read it, but we also, again, that's another thing that men do. We know our job, but sometimes we just don't want to do it. So we'll act like we don't know how to actually do the job, and then you'll do it.
See, nobody got
Whole
time
different story.
for these types of games.
Whole different story.
Nobody got time for that.
Let's switch gears a little bit. When it comes down to what women want, we want them to also understand the difference between listening and hearing. That's major. Because if I'm coming to you with a problem, I might just want you to hear what it is I'm saying. If we're going back and forth on something, I want you to hear what it is that I'm saying, rather than you just listening because you want to respond to it, because you found one point that might be wrong or one point that you disagree with, that you feel as though I need to say something about this. That will definitely cut communication to some degree, to some point.
Well, in my talks with women, I over the years, I tell women that all the time, that they talk too much. I tell women that on a consistent basis, you talk too much. I feel like women talk way too much. Because I think, you meet somebody, you want to impress them, and you just running your mouth. You just be giving out too much information. Like women give out way too much information. Like, it's almost like when you're listening to someone, you're kind of drawing them in. You're drawing them in, as you're like really listening. And
right.
If you're telling him about your former relationships and all of that, it's certain questions I don't allow people to ask me. Like, don't ask me anything about a former relationship, because I'm not going to tell you what happened, if anything happened, because that's only just ammunition that you're going to use.
I've dealt with that on more than one occasion. It's like I answer the questions because, like, all right, where's this going to go? But it's like the more I answer questions about my previous relationship, the more you ask. It's like, why? Like, what is the issue? I don't really care, but I'm here now. Your exes are not here unless you plan on keeping them here for a reason. It's like, you're asking more questions about my ex than you are about me. It's like, all right, well, this ain't gonna last long.
T says 9 times out of 10, your lady has already told you the area she needs and wants you to show up, and you just have to listen. And I think
go up 2 more.
2 more. Oh, yeah. I miss all that, T. Men also self-sabotage and belittle themselves by focusing on areas they know they aren't needed for when it comes to a relationship. Evaluate when and where you're needed and focus on that. Dang, T.
I can see that, but also with that being said, women don't really communicate certain things, and men are left to either assume, take this script, and just try to figure things out. So I think with that.
She said you may not be needed financially, but you can shine in other ways. Go get the oil changed in her car. Do some maintenance around the house. Be there for her emotionally. If he's emotionally unavailable, it's because he don't know how to deal with his own emotions. So he's definitely not going to be there available to be dealing with your emotions.
Nope, not at all.
That because women have the emotional strength and men have the physical strength, that's where we just can kind of take the lead. And as we were talking about earlier, provide that safe zone for him to open up and be vulnerable. And you have to be a secret keeper. See, I'm a secret keeper. And women ask me, they were like, how do you have such a way with men? Because I'm a secret keeper. And so I talk around my friends, but when I get around men, I'm quiet because I'm observing them just like they observing me. I'm learning and picking up things about them, but they have to know that if they tell me something, I'm going to keep it to myself. And that goes for not just them, it goes also for my friends. And it also goes for the fact that I've been in ministry for so long. And when you're in ministry, you have to keep people's secrets. You have to learn how to be a secret keeper. Stop blabbing everything somebody tell you.
And oversharing. Jesus.
Ooh, that's what I was saying. Women talk too much.
Women just like, hey, some stuff you don't need to know. I read yours, just skip this. But yeah. Also, After a while, if you start talking, you lose us. We got the attention span of a gnat.
Woo, talk
Again,
about it, Dante. Talk about it.
clear, concise, to the point. If I'm asking you what, again, I'm gonna go there. If I'm asking you what to eat, and you give me this whole like list of stuff you didn't have or you didn't, I'm sorry, that you ate already, uh, what you want? Because I got to go back to the next question. Why are we here? Clear, concise, to the point. Don't use no extra words. Don't make stuff up. Clear, straight to the point. Because the more you talk about something and then you start to digress, you lost us.
Ooh.
And now we're just looking at everything else. We try not to fidget, but because don't want to be disrespectful, but it's like, hey, can you? And I was just saying, can you answer the question? Because all that you talking, I don't even what.
Jill on the first date done talk about how many kids she want. She talking about what type of wedding dress she want. The man ain't even said he wanted to get married,
and her whole excuse would be, well, I don't do small talk. All right, so now here we are talking about kids and planning weddings and everything else. I just asked you how your day was. Where did this come from?
Yeah, I try to tell them, just be quiet, just hush up, as my grandmother would say, hush up.
I'm gonna run through a couple things real quick because we got like 5 minutes. The next thing is comfortability. Sometimes men do not feel comfortable around you. We'll go through the flow. We just ain't gonna call you. We already determined in our mind we're not gonna call you again.
Wow.
I'm not gonna say no names because we're gonna protect the innocent. I was on a date. This is a couple years ago. I was on a date, and at that point, she just started saying stuff going down the line. I literally went in my phone and just deleted that. Like, nope, this ain't gonna happen again.
And see, women need to know that. I keep trying to tell them.
Oh, no. I told her. I didn't it's gonna be. I definitely do not think it's gonna be another one. But thank you for your time. I appreciate. No, pay for the date, pay for all that. I'm leaving a lot of stuff out of the story, but yeah, no.
But before you can get to comfortability of him feeling comfortable, you have to be comfortable in your own skin.
Oh, I don't know. I guess she was.
When you're comfortable in your own skin, you don't feel the need to have to fill the air up with your talking. You want to make what you say meaningful. You want to have, when you speak, you want to have impact. Men tell me you might not talk a lot, but when you do speak, it's impactful.
Yeah, it's meaningful. It's not just, like you said, just not just filling the air because of conversation. Hey, look, I'm trying to eat, and I really like this food. So I'm just not gonna be much conversation because I'm enjoying it.
And see, me, I'm a conversationalist because I read a lot, so I know I have a wide variety of subjects that I could talk about. I remember being in the airport, and this guy, he had his dog in the airport, beautiful Afghan. And so he said, man, a lot of people don't even know about this dog. And I started giving him the background of the dog and where the dog come from, because I watch the dog shows. I love watching the dog shows. And the dog shows, they give you the history of the dogs and all of that while they prancing their little dogs around. I think it's just the cutest thing ever. And
which brings me to my next point.
I can't hardly even talk to anybody about my dog because they don't even know anything about the dog. And so I think that you have to be engaging. I could find a million things to talk about besides my past relationship.
And again, let me talk about that for a moment because that's also on the list. Having multi-talking points. Like, I can talk to you about the dog. I can talk to you about current events on the news. I can talk to you about some hood stuff that's happening around. You're not one dimensional. Like, I can speak on different things with you. Yes, well-rounded. Yeah, and that's hard to come past because at one point in time it was just love and hip hop everything. It's like nothing else. We can't talk about the economy. We can't talk about how the dollar about to go into the toilet. We can't talk about none of that. No, like that's also a thing. It's like, where are you at with this? Because if your whole thing is just loving hip hop and that's life for you, Yeah, no.
It's more so that like women, the only thing like the whole capsule for a lot of women is just marriage. It's like they just everything is about when they meet a man, it's about is he a potential person for them to marry? Like that is their whole thing. And that's like a lot of times that's the furthest thing from a man's mind. That is the furthest thing
Mhm.
from his mind is marriage. And it's like, for real, you don't even really know me well enough to be talking to me about marriage. I just met you.
Takes a lifetime to get to know somebody, but this is where
Yeah,
you at.
like we just met each other. You talking about your wedding and what kind of dress and how many kids you want, and like that's the furthest thing from a man's mind. He don't want to talk about no
And
darn
then,
marriage. He's single
and
for a
then
reason.
on top of that, if you're bringing this up to me, was this something that you planned with someone else before? Because there's no way you thought about all this, and this is the first date. This is so you're basically taking your dream that you had with someone else. You're now trying to slide me in that slot. That's a turn off. No,
Wow.
thank you. No, thank you. I've had that happen before. No, thank you. We should do this, and then later on down the line, it was like she had that plan with somebody else, and that didn't fall through. So now you're trying to take your dream and slide me into it. No, go find whoever you had that dream for. I'm not it.
I just think that's how women are conditioned. I think that women are just conditioned to grow up and, want to be married and want the 2.5 children and the white picket fence and, him riding on the horse and swooping them up. I just think that's just how they condition. Because if you are in a room full of women, inside of 5 minutes, they're gonna start talking about a wedding. They're gonna start talking about a wedding. And so I don't think that they understand that that's not what men want to talk about. They
No,
don't even want to.
I got no. I got to get to know you to know if I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
The rest of my life. And it's
Yeah,
like you have to be, to me, in order for me to want to spend the rest of my life with somebody and give my whole entire life to you, you have to be an amazing, extraordinary person. And
and
you're
I'm not going to
going
figure that out in one
to
night.
keep my attention.
Tell your
She,
mama
she
call.
said, "My mama on the lookout for you. Mama gonna have to come through mama first.
Oh, hey, I ain't got nothing to do
This
with
my
that.
baby boy. This my
I
youngest
ain't,
one.
I ain't got no water no more.
And he's single, mama. So, it's like you have to really be engaging. You have to really keep my attention. You know what I mean? If you're
I
boring,
think I think
somebody boring.
that's the major thing for me. Can you keep my attention? Because my mind is already going 1,000 miles per minute. So the fact that I'm even giving you time to have a conversation, that's a lot. Because some people they don't even get it this far. So now that you got my attention, now that you got my time, what are we gonna talk about?
Talk about that,
Because
Dante. Talk about, that men want a woman that can hold a conversation.
not even a conversation. Can you be diverse in this conversation? Can we talk about one thing and then switch over to something else because it might be related to and then come back to that? Can we talk about different topics within the same conversation? Can
And
you do that?
can you be teachable? Because men like to
Oh
teach
yes,
women to do stuff too. Men
and
love
I like to be taught. Don't get I like to be taught. If you know something that I don't, please inform me.
yeah.
Let's talk about this. Let's have a sit down and break this down for me. I am not above being taught. In fact, I want to learn. Teach me something new.
Talking about I'll take care of him. You ain't taking care of nobody. You ain't taking care of nobody, T.
Let me run past a couple other things. Men are also looking for a woman to protect them as well.
And
It
what
might not.
aspect?
In what aspect? The fact that because women see stuff that men can't.
Okay,
It's truth.
elaborate. What they
I
see.
mean, I can elaborate. I mean, I know for me personally, a lot of women have pointed out that another woman was flirting with me. No clue. So if I'm sitting back having this conversation with a woman, I'm in a relationship. Hey, you need to not do A, B, C, D because the way she looking at you, this, or the way she doing this. One lady was like, "Watch out, women."
A biscuit. She want to sop you up.
Oh my God. When it comes down to, I mean, also things on the job, you've even showed me a couple of things. She's like, well, here's what, basically showing me power moves. It's like you see things before I even had a chance to see it. So men are looking for that too. Protect me in ways that I don't see, the things that I
Also,
can't
talk
do.
about these aggressive women who are asking men to marry them, and women who are approaching men to have sex with them. And we're living in a time where women have become, females have become very aggressive.
Now let me flip this real quick, because some of that stuff was welcomed, because pressure for a man is real, whether it be sexual, whether it be in other areas. But a lot of times the men have to initiate, and we don't really know you that well to, all right, it's a good time, it's not a good time, or they don't want to come off selfish, so here's what it is. So sometimes that's welcomed. Sometimes. Depending on who it is, because most men like, yeah, give it to me. Yeah, I want it. Put it in my pocket and take it home. We're going to do things with it. But other times it's like, let me not come off as selfish, but I actually need to get to know you to know, all right, is this a good time? Is this not a good time? Or is it too much? Is it not too much? Like, this is an actual thing. So with time, that becomes a thing. When it comes down to marriage, of course, when you're first talking to somebody, you got to get where they're coming from. Why are you here? Is this a long-term thing? A short-term thing? No,
it's why are you?
No. Why are you here? Why are you here? Just what we doing? For real.
Kyra says, and do men like assertive women? And T says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and finds favor with the Lord. Okay, T. T taking us to church.
Let me go ahead on and address both. T says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. But yeah, none of that says anything about a man who isn't ready. So he who finds a wife, he has to be looking. But if you're just initiating the conversation, basically making it forceful, why are you trying to marry me so fast? What's going on? What's up with you? Like, it begins to draw some sort of like a bit of a red flag, if you will.
Kyra says, do men like assertive women?
It depends on the type of assertiveness. Some of it is welcome, but again, it depends on the actual person. I would love for a woman to state what she wants and how she wants it, and not be forceful about it. Like, if this is your standard, hey, listen, I need you dressed and ready at 7:00. Okay, cool, that's fine. What day? Because I'm busy, Monday through Friday.
We talked about that last week, about women being decisive. Men want women who are decisive. If he asks you where you want to go, don't say, well, wherever you want to go.
Because we're gonna end up at the place that's all for me.
Yeah.
So, I'm a bit of an a-hole sometimes. I go to a place.
I think the assertive thing is like, it's almost like you have to kind of like gauge the situation. You have to kind of gauge when to be assertive and when not to be assertive. There are times to be assertive, but it's like T said, you don't want to emasculate him. So it's a time to do it, and it's a way to do it. You know what
it's not even emasculation. It's really more so when I say no for whatever reason, don't feel rejected. You didn't go about doing it the right way. And most people don't like rejection, although rejection is a part of life. So
it's almost like you have to read the room. They have this like new show on called Grown in Gospel, and the two husband and wife, they were separated or whatever, and she invited him over, and then she jumped the gun, went and changed into some lingerie, and came out and was like trying to entice him, but because she didn't really read, and discern what was really going on, and she got rejected. So when you're being assertive, you have to kind of know when to do it. You got to kind of know how to do it. I think that some instances
you have to know the person well enough to do it.
But men do like it though sometimes. I know men, men, do say that I really want her to initiate bedroom time sometime. I don't
Oh,
want to
absolutely.
always initiate bedroom time, but you know, women just feel like men should always initiate. But there definitely is a time to be assertive where men will find it absolutely sexy. T said, be serious. If a man asks a woman what she wants and she names 5 different things, will she get them? You know what,
This
T?
was no, because this was a question that I answered earlier, and I told her yes. When my ex was pregnant, she wanted sweet tea from McDonald's and mashed potatoes from KFC, and then she wanted something from the Waffle House. She got all 3 of those things, not because she was pregnant, because she actually said what she wanted. So unless I didn't have the gas to go and get those things because it's just too far away, you got it.
But basically, so what you're saying is that men want women to know what they want.
I
What do
mean,
you want? And express what
isn't it
you want, and I'll give you what you want.
again, you say this, and it's even in the Bible. You have not because you ask not. Then when I ask you the question and you go off on this, like you don't know what you're talking yourself out of. Well, I don't know. Well, you know, I don't know either. I'm going to go to sleep because I ain't hungry.
You know, it's like they want men to take the lead, and then when men take the lead, they don't like where they're going.
Time out. Because in order for me to actually take the lead and take the lead properly, I have to know you. In order for me to know you, you have to answer questions not only accordingly, you have to answer them. And not by answering them, by not answering them as far as what you don't want, but rather than what you do want. That was a lot. I know.
It's not. I just think it's easy. I think it's like
It is easy.
I think that if women just do what men do, if they just sit back, chill, and watch, they'll get a whole lot of information. And some of the things that you'll see, you know, how to really kind of like ebb and flow, how you guys kind of ebb and flow, how you kind of fall into, you know, each other. One of the things I hear men complain about is that women are too pessimistic. They complain too much.
It's not even a complaint. It's really not the complaint. It's the fact that you're not willing to do anything about it. You're just willing to let it happen. I don't want to hear it. It's like you complain about something or you venting about something, that's one thing. But if you keep venting about the same thing repeatedly, I don't want to hear it. Fix it. Like, do something about. I'm not because if I did that, if I came to you and said, "Well, you know, such and such did this and at the job," and it's just the same thing, it's like you'll start to lose value in me. You'll start to lose respect in me. And
Wow.
the same thing happens with women. It's like you can't be gangster out here in the streets, but then when it comes to corporate, you know, well, I don't know what to, because they just keep you grown. Fix it. And I think the number one thing that all men, all of us, hate is when you come to us and we give you sound advice, we give you good advice, and you don't take it, but then your girlfriend or someone else on the outside turns around and gives you the exact same thing and it works, don't come to me again. Go back to them.
Wow.
Because I gave you that. No, because I gave you that. I'm sitting down, I'm listening to everything you're saying. I'm hearing you. I'm using my active listening skills in regards to your situation to help you get out, and you completely disregard that for someone else. Go back to them. Because the next time you come to me, it's like you should go talk to whoever you talked to beforehand. Because clearly, I'm not going to sit back and keep wasting my time with it.
Could they find that to be disrespectful?
It's very disrespectful, and you wasted my time. I could have been doing something else, but no, I'm literally listening to you. Now, again, for a man to listen to a woman gripe about issues, some of us, it's hard because, like I said before, we have the attention span of a gnat. So I'm using my active listening skills, and I'm putting my all into this. Although it's like, oh my gosh, look, flies. It's like, no, I'm here, and I give you the best advice that I can, and then someone else turns around and does this. Like you completely ignore me, listen to somebody else. And then have the nerve / audacity to come back to me and say, well, such and such said do this, and I did this. It's like, hey, I said that. I did. I don't want credit, but As long as you got it done, that's it. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, if she ever comes to me again, hey, listen, I got other stuff I gotta do.
Because that's like the number one thing you hear men always. She don't listen. She don't listen. She
You
don't
know what?
listen. Women don't listen. They don't
Yeah.
listen.
And the beautiful thing about that is she ain't got to, but she only got a couple of times of not listening before I don't have to hear it.
T said, and that's called setting a boundary and standing on it. Good job, Dante. So
Oh, I ain't doing
Dante,
this.
just like close this out because we could come here and be talking about this for 4 hours. And
Yellow.
I'm in my kimono relaxing. I'm about to fall asleep in a minute. But
We ain't gonna have that.
I think that
No,
I think this was a good start though for women to really to put something on their mind and to give them something to really think about. I think that you're just gonna keep hearing me say men just don't think like women, and we have
no, we
to
don't.
get the perspective of a man in order for you to really, for you to really just I don't know. It just feels like you have to just fall back. That's what I feel like. I just feel like women be just trying too hard. They just be doing too much. Thank you, Yvonne. They just be doing too much. Just chill out. And
No,
people,
that's the main thing.
men like to have fun. Men like to have fun. They like to be around a woman that's fun. Stop taking stuff so seriously.
Okay, yeah, that's like when you start taking stuff to heart, it creates that distance. It's like yes, lighthearted fun, having if anybody know me, I crack jokes, and you might be the butt of that joke a couple times. So,
well, how late you want us to start, T? She said, "Can y'all start later so I can catch it from the beginning?" You can just watch it later. It's on YouTube.
I think she wants to comment on as it's happening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's different.
It is. So Dante, go ahead and let's really close this out because
okay.
we can just have really a laundry list of what women need to know. They really need to know what men want because men are not very vocal about it.
No, because a lot of times, unfortunately, some of those men don't even know what the hell they want. They just here because you said yes. They probably didn't think you was gonna be here. Yeah, that's a whole different story. But when it comes down to it, to know what a man wants, like you said, the same thing we do, we just sit back and we just watch because we're interested. So sit back and watch. You ask a million questions can definitely turn a man off. Some of them, not all of them. Some of them do love having conversations about them.
1,000 questions and they answer.
And we just be like, because what? Why are you here? Like, why do I have to go through this whole questionnaire? Like, men don't like questions. And please don't.
They'll answer. They like questions.
Some questions, yes, but when you start asking about an ex or stuff like that, yes.
I don't want to hear about that. I ain't asking about that.
Some people do for some strange reason.
I remember I asked this man, I said, I probably shouldn't say this, but I said it before on the show. But I was really curious. And I asked him, why do y'all act like y'all don't have no control over y'all, over y'all nether regions? Why y'all act like, because y'all penis got a head that it got a brain? And he said, because it's hard to control. He said it's hard to control. He was like, when you wake up in the morning, it be standing to attention.
I gotta pee. That's why. It ain't even that serious, sir. It's not even that serious.
Maybe you don't know that.
Listen, no, it's not that hard. But again, if you lack discipline, you lack self-control, yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's like putting a crackhead in a crack house and say, hey, don't touch nothing in here. No, he's gonna smoke that whole house up.
Well, that's what they act like. That's what they act like.
It's really not that hard. If you take some time out.
Question that I have asked a lot of men. Why y'all act like y'all don't have no control over y'all pee now?
Listen, Trevor Noah said if you take away sex from anything, you really see what people have to offer. So apparently that's all he has to offer is that.
Yeah. And then one man said it takes time to get mature. It's a level of maturity. You have to be mature.
No, it is a level of maturity.
It's a little separate person down in y'all pants.
Man, it ain't even that serious.
Telling y'all what to do.
It ain't even that serious. It's really not.
For some men it is.
Because that's all they know. Like, it ain't nothing worse than putting that into someone who doesn't really serve any purpose. That's just it. That's all you good for. That's it. Just anyway. What men want from a woman is, again, there's of course every man is different, but if you take the time out to actually sit back and watch them, study them, they're gonna tell themselves, or the answer is gonna be completely evident at that point. Then you'll know why they're here. They know why you went out. They went out their way to get your attention. What we want, again, men who really know, they want a teammate. They want somebody who's going to be there with them for them. Someone who, when, hey, I'm not down in these trenches by myself. She's here. Even if she's not down in the trenches, she's somewhere near giving me some sort of direction, pointing out things that I'm not able to see at this point in time. We want someone who is going to be there and just not be there for, because I got money or because I have these materialistic things. Like someone who's actually going to add some sort of value to me. And I'm just leave on that note.
All right, guys. Y'all got some topics y'all want to talk about? Because there's a whole lot of stuff we need to cover. You think we should do a part 2, Dante?
We can easily do a part 2. Easily.
Yeah, because there's some other stuff too that I think that needs to be addressed as far as like what men really want. I think it's just time for women just to listen to what they really want, so that relationships can be better, because they can be better. So
absolutely,
let us know, you guys, and we will see you guys next Sunday. Thank you all for participating. Like and subscribe and share.